only one day away from our August morning celebration and exactly 1 week before we can jump and prance to celebrate Jamaica 59. Today's show pays tribute to one of our national heroes who gave his all to ensure that our ancestors' hard-won freedom would not be stripped away. We also pause to recognize one of the Jamaicans who has brought pride to her people through an outstanding life on and off the track. These and much more are lined up just for you in today's magazine, so don't move a muscle.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, July 30, 2021. All Jamaicans aged 18 and older can make appointments for their first and second doses of the COVID-19 vaccine as of today. This was announced by Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, at the ministry's virtual press conference held yesterday. Registration can be done online at the ministry's website moh.gov.jm or through the vaccination call center at 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683. Dr. Tufton says this will be facilitated by the newest shipment of 300,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine donated from the United Kingdom. This shipment will be used for a vaccination blitz on the weekend for both the first and second doses. The health minister has reiterated that the vaccines are safe, urging persons to get vaccinated. Permanent Secretary in the ministry, Dr. Dunstan Bryan, says the ministry will be increasing the number of vaccine sites to accommodate more persons. About 1.4 million doses of the vaccine are expected by the end of September. The Ministry of Education is preparing to employ both face-to-face and online learning modalities when the new academic year begins in September. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams spoke to the plan as she addressed a virtual round-table discussion organized by the ministry and the private sector organization of Jamaica on Wednesday. The session was held to raise the achievement levels in the education sector.
You know that the back to school is going to be dependent on where we are in the pandemic. Yes. I just have to put that out front because we're guided by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. We just have to. But what we're doing at the ministry is planning for different scenarios. Yeah. So if September morning, it's face-to-face, we'll be ready.
She says that as part of the preparations, inspection and repair of school plants are being undertaken and a rotation schedule is being considered for schools. Internet service will be provided for schools without connectivity. The ministry adds that the connection of 196 public schools to the existing broadband network is expected to be completed in the new school term. Over 60 adolescent parents have received bursaries and scholarships valued at approximately $3.9 million from the Women's Center of Jamaica Foundation to help with their educational expenses. The presentations were made yesterday during the virtual staging of the third Advancing Secondary Tertiary Remedial Education for Adolescent Mothers A-Stream Awards ceremony in Kingston. The A-Stream program was instituted in 2018 to provide scholarships and mentors for the adolescent girls to ensure that they, along with the fathers, can advance their secondary and tertiary level education.
Let me congratulate all those who have been contributing to the stream of funds that provide the girls with financial support as they advance their education. I also commend those who serve as mentors, walking beside the girls to offer that needed psycho-emotional support along with their educational journey.
Gender Minister Olivia Grange says that since the launch of the program, there have been 3 graduates and 14 girls are currently studying at the tertiary level. She says 4 of the scholarships were named in honor of the former chairman of the board of directors, the entity's first national director, former executive director of the Women's Center, and the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. Jamaica has been placed on high alert for African swine fever following a July 28 report from the United States Department of Agriculture confirming African swine fever in samples collected from pigs in the Dominican Republic. African swine fever is a devastating, economically significant, and highly contagious viral disease of domestic pigs and feral swine, causing high mortality approaching 100%. It has not been known to affect humans, but is almost always fatal in pigs. A release from the Agriculture Ministry indicates that the Veterinary Services Division will immediately heighten collaboration with the Jamaica Customs Agency, the JDF Coast Guard, the Passport Immigration Citizenship Agency, pig farmers, and all Jamaicans in order to minimize the risk of entry of this disease. Introduction of the virus into the country may occur by way of importation of infected pork products and contamination of things such as feed, equipment, vehicles, and clothing. This new detection of the virus in the Americas has raised serious concerns about the continuing global spread of the disease, which has devastated China's pig population since the outbreaks in that country in 2018. The Ministry of National Security says it is reinforcing its commitment to tackle the issue of trafficking in persons. This is being done through the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons, which was established in 2005. Manager for the Trafficking in Persons Secretariat within the ministry, Shani Russell Robinson, says over 100 victims have been rescued since 2010. In addition, 8 traffickers were convicted within the courts, while judges have been trained in the laws and procedures of the Trafficking in Persons Prevention, Suppression, and Punishment Act.
The act was also amended in 2013, 2018, and just recently, 2021. So these are measures that we have been put in place to ensure that Jamaica is aligned with international best practices and to ensure that we are keeping abreast of the changing times, because traffickers are also constantly evolving their methods.
Ms. Russell Robinson was speaking at a JIS think tank. She says the work of the task force is centered around protecting victims of trafficking and carrying out measures to reduce incidents of persons being trafficked locally. And finally, the Drug Treatment Court Program has been extended for another 3 years. A Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, was signed recently and is being executed among the Ministries of Health and Wellness, Justice, and National Security, as well as the National Council on Drug Abuse. The program was established in 2001 under the Drug Court Treatment and Offenders Act and provides a structured and supervised treatment program prescribed by the Drug Court. It also serves to combat drug abuse with the aim of reducing criminal activities that may stem from drug dependence. In a statement, Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang says the purpose for which the program was established has served us well and in many ways has helped to save the lives of countless young men and women who otherwise might not have alternative assistance. Minister Chang says emphasis should be placed on therapeutic jurisprudence as an alternative for the incarceration of persons who may have a drug problem. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Do you own land and need a title? Well, the National Land Agency NLA can help. Through the systematic land registration process, the NLA will assist residents to get titles in declared project areas across Jamaica. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as systematic adjudication area. For further information on the systematic land registration process, including declared systematic adjudication areas, who can apply and the benefits, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm or email asknla@nla.gov.jm. The National Land Agency, one agency, one goal. If you're hitting the road this holiday weekend, remember the earlier curfew hours and strict limits on public gathering. If you're going to be behind the wheel, don't forget your driver's license. Speaking of, if you're putting off getting your license to drive because you're intimidated by the process, don't be. Get ready to take notes. We have the details in our next feature.
So, you've acquired your provisional or learner's driver's license, and the next step is getting the real deal. Well, the process for getting each is a bit different, but nonetheless very achievable.
Now, the fundamental difference between the provisional and the driver's license now is that with the driver's license you can drive by yourself, but with the provisional, an instructor have to be there with you, must be there with you at all times. Somebody who have a driver's license must be with you. So once you acquire the driver's license now, you can drive on your own.
But before we go in to get this piece of document, we must have an idea of the type of license that we're applying for. Here in Jamaica, there are 3 categories available: a motorcycle license, a private license for motor cars only, and a general license, which is for any vehicle including motorcycles and public passenger vehicles. Now it's time to head to an Island Traffic Authority depot. But don't leave these important documents: a completed driver's license application form, signed by a justice of the peace or a notary public, the examination fee receipt, your provisional driver's license or learner's permit, and 3 passport-size photographs, also signed by a JP or notary public.
First step we need to do is that we must be successful in the road code test, and we must acquire the provisional driver's license. Now, when you would have gone to your instructor, right? Your instructor would then decide when you are ready to go and do the test. You should prepare yourself for 3 things: the written test, the yard test, and the road test. You need to know how to navigate that motor vehicle, right, safely without hitting down anyone. So you need to be in control of the vehicle, right? Know when to brake, know when to gas, know when to turn, etc. Ensure that you know your road code, right? Know your road signs, know your road markings, know the responsibility of drivers, know the responsibility of other road users. Understand what the road marking signs mean, the white line mean, and know what they mean, and obey them. So those things are very critical, right? So once you know these things, right, then you're ready to do the written test. The written test have to do with driving questions, driving issues.
It's mandatory for all applicants to complete this written test. Individuals are required to read a sentence, then complete the written test where the knowledge of vehicle mechanics will be tested for general license applicants.
And after you have passed the written test, then we take it to the yard test.
During the yard test, applicants' ability to start on a gradient or hill, parallel park, and reverse will be assessed.
So there, so now you learn hill start. Your instructor should teach you hill start, how to start on the hill, so you don't run back and create mayhem and crashing people behind you. So again, controlling the vehicle, very critical, right? So once you have done the hill start, you do the yard test, how you navigate the navigate on the road network. Just as how you would have to navigate out there in the real world. So we put you in that control. It's a control environment, right? So we carry you through that navigatory process. Once you have exercised that safely, right, that is good. Another component of it is that we need to see a reversing skills. We want to see that reversing skill being executed, and we want it to be done safely without creating any imbalances in the traffic environment. Once you have completed the yard test, the yard operations, yes, then we can take you out to the road. Because you'd have proven to us that we must take you out to the road, right? Now, once we have taken you out to the road now, we give you some instructions, and the instructions should be followed, right? And you are assessed again. Once you have passed all 3 components, then a certificate of competence will be issued with respect to you. Now, that certificate of competence now would then be used as the instrument that would allow you to access the technology of a driver's license. Right? And the tax office now would be the ones that would issue you with that card, allowing you to drive for that period of time. If you have not executed the components properly, you will then be required to come back, right, to do the components that you have failed. Right? So those things would have been documented, what you pass, and whatever you fail, you will be required to come back and do it.
And there you have it, the Island Traffic Authority's simple steps to help you achieve your very own driver's license.
Thirty-nine-year-old Jamaican track star Veronica Campbell Brown recently announced her retirement from athletics, and there was an immediate outpour of love and support. One of the heartfelt tributes she received was from Sport Minister Olivia Grange. If you missed it, here's more.
She is an 8-time Olympic medalist who has won 3 gold medals at the Olympics and 3 at the World Championships. She has in her possession over 50 medals for her outstanding work as an athlete. Her career lasted over 2 decades, and the time has come for her to hang up her spikes.
My reaction to Veronica announcing that she's hanging up her spikes and she's retiring brings to mind that Veronica is Jamaica's most decorated female athlete, and that we cannot praise her enough for her outstanding performance as an athlete.
Veronica Campbell Brown is a Jamaican track and field sprinter who specializes in the 100 and 200 meters. Her personal best of 10.76 seconds in the 100 meters makes her one of the top 10 fastest female athletes in the world and 4th fastest among Jamaican women. The athlete, whose career started at the Veronica High School in Clarendon, hails from the rural community of Clarkstown in Trelawney. At the age of 22, she represented Jamaica at the 2004 Athens Olympics, winning gold in the 200 meters. Her win made her the first Jamaican and Caribbean woman in the history of the Games to win a sprint Olympic title.
VCB is a very warm individual, a humble individual. I mean, regardless of all the successes that she has had as an athlete, she was never spoiled. She never behaved like a prima donna. She's just humble, warm, and very Christian-like in her approach. She is always speaking about praying and giving thanks. And I think she's a great example as a Jamaican woman, and a Jamaican woman who has succeeded through hard work and dedication. I really, really wish her well.
In 2019, VCB, as many affectionately call her, was honored by the government of Jamaica for her stellar work as an athlete.
A statue of Veronica was commissioned along with statues of Usain Bolt, Asafa Powell, Shelley Ann Fraser, as Jamaica's tangible recognition of her performance. And it is now proudly erected in Statue Park in the National Stadium complex. And further to that, we renamed the Troy Primary School as the Veronica Campbell Brown Primary School.
The 39-year-old Olympian, wife and mother, says she will now turn her focus to parenting and her entrepreneurial and charity ventures, such as the VCB Foundation.
I wish her well in her retirement. I wish her success in her venture, business venture, in working on her brand and her merchandising, and that she will be able to market herself as effectively as she has done Jamaica proud as an athlete.
Jamaica's COVID-19 vaccination plan is still in effect. If you wish to make an appointment, please do so online by visiting moh.gov.jm or by calling 888-663-5683. Vaccination still a keep. Go get your jab today.
The Right Excellent George William Gordon was ultimately honoured by the Jamaican government for his exceptional contribution to society. His legacy lives on today as one of those whose sweat, bravery and resilience were instrumental in helping our ancestors retain the freedom for which they had fought so bravely. Here's a very short look at his work and life.
George William Gordon, now Right Excellent George William Gordon, national hero, was born in 1815, the son of a Scottish father and an enslaved Jamaican mother. He got a call to make the world a better place, and for that he was never forgiven. You should know then that conditions in Jamaica then were just unbelievable. People were suffering. 311,000 persons in 1838 enslaved, received their freedom and were just thrown outside. And what George William Gordon did, he bought lands and he cut up the lands and allowed the poor, the dispossessed, to have access to the land. And his colleagues did not like that. He chastised the governor in meetings right at the space that the governor needed to do more for the people. And the governor didn't like it, called him a mischief maker. And this is the space where George William Gordon came to, as it were, give up himself because he heard they were looking for him. And from here, he was taken to St. Thomas, where he was tried and hanged on the 23rd of October, 1865. And he reached the Friday, and they hanged him the Monday morning. But before he was hanged, he asked for permission to write a letter to his dear wife, Lucy. He had married this lady, Shannon, Lucy Shannon. He married her, and he asked that he could write a letter, and they allowed him to write the letter. That would have been Sunday night, early Monday morning. He wrote the letter to say that he was innocent. And if anything that he did that was bad, was to help poor people.
My name is Vanessa Blackstock Murray. I am an Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. We are extremely grateful to the EU for the contribution it has made to the justice system. We have benefited from the implementation of audiovisual technology within the courts, which allows us to take evidence from witnesses who will not be able to attend court personally. We know that the collaboration with the EU and the Ministry of Justice will help Jamaica to obtain a first-class justice system.
In spite of all our differences, along with all our problems, I believe
this is where our program ends for today. Thanks for tuning in. Before I go, here's a reminder that you can meet up with us again tomorrow and every day after on our website, jis.gov.jm, or our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on all our social media pages for the latest news and video uploads. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Audrey Williams. Have a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.